Yo, what is going on, guys? We are back today for another video, the most special video every month, and that is the tier list, the offensive tier list update. So, you guys know the drill. Before we get into it, we got a couple disclaimers to go through. Real quick before we get into that, I just want to say the last tier list is really close to 69,000 views, which is crazy. I just finished reading over 300 comments on that video, which is awesome. And I just want to say on this tier list video, if we can get over 1,000 likes, with Battlegrounds launching next month in September, Kabam John already confirmed this on the podcast, we'll do a Battlegrounds tier list that will have a defensive portion, an offensive portion, and both of them. Something like that. So if you guys just want to see that, just drop a like on this tier list, and we'll make that tier list next month, plus an updated version of this one as well at the end of the month. But okay, quick disclaimers. Don't take this as the MCOC Bible. Just because a champion is in the highest tier doesn't mean that they're better for every single fight than a champion in the middle tier. You know, this game is entirely matchup dependent, and that's the way it seems Kabam is pushing it forward. So it's all about bringing the right champion to the right fight. But the thing is, the champions that are ranked higher typically can take more fights. Okay? One more disclaimer is that, this tier list started out as my opinion, but it's come so far that it's our opinion. It's my opinion mixed with all your guys' opinion. Like I said, I just read the last 300 comments on the last tier list, and those factored into a lot of changes made on this tier list. All the champions in orange, that means that they're either newly added to the list or there was some change, either up or down. So we're going to get into all of that. This was a lot of big shakeups. A shakeup in a first place in a class, which I don't think we've seen in recent time. So lots of fun stuff to talk about. Let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so starting with the Mystic class, there were some big changes here. Rintrah got promoted. So Rintrah is now in the one above all tier. I've seen a lot of people take him to rank 4. A lot of people in my alliance seen Karate Mike putting out a lot of good content on Rintrah, and I'm convinced. I'm totally convinced that he deserves to be in this tier. We actually had a demotion from this tier, which I don't think we've had in a long time, especially in the Mystic class. But Sorcerer Supreme has been demoted. And so what I want to keep these tier lists, because I've committed, I'm going to be updating these every single month. And because I'm doing that, there's more room for error, trial and error. I can move a champ up one month. If I'm like, okay, no, I changed my mind, I can move him back down. I can totally do that. I have the freedom to do that, which is great. And that's going to happen towards the end of the video. We're going to talk about a champion that happened to. But also, I want to keep this list meta relevant. Now, what does that mean? Meta relevant. Well, my definition of that for these tier lists is, as the game evolves, I want my tier list to be evolving with the game. So if a champion was really good back in 2019, and they'd be at the top of the tier list, although maybe that champion hasn't changed, the game has. And when the game changes and it goes away from certain champions, they go down. And that's just the way it is, man, until they maybe get a new powerful synergy or some kind of buff. I want to keep this list meta relevant. I want to keep it updated with the current state of the game. So that's my goal. And with that in mind, Sorcerer Supreme, man, I haven't used my Sorcerer Supreme in so long. I have her at Sig 200, and it just feels like a big waste. She was not at all on my list to rank 4. I have no intention of taking her to rank 4. And when I look at these other champions, I would rather rank 4 all of these champions than Sorcerer Supreme. You're not going to catch me ranking 4ing Sorcerer Supreme. I think she is still a really good champion. She has her uses, but lately I don't see her being used much, and I decided to demote her. So very interested to hear what you guys think about that. But like I said, next month I could re-promote her. We'll see. If there's if you guys really want me to re-promote her next month, we can do that too. But I'd like to hear your guys' thoughts on that. All right, another change up we had was Scarlet Witch has been promoted from God tier to Beyonder tier with the Quicksilver synergy. So the synergy did get toned down, but I think the synergy is still really powerful and still really good for Scarlet Witch, especially with her coming as a 6-star. Yes, guys, Scarlet Witch is coming to the game as a 6-star. She will no longer be 5-star restricted like our girl Magic here. Hopefully Magic gets that same treatment one day. Don't know when she's coming, but she is coming. So can't wait to see a 6-star version. We got Mangog getting a promotion, and Dormammu getting a promotion from the buffable tier. And there's a lot of people asking for Ghost Rider to get upgraded, and I can't do it because Ghost Rider is so outdated these days, guys. It's insane. You know, back in the day when you'd use Ghost Rider, you'd have him with Blade and Stark Spidey already on the team. That's huge for Ghost Rider. Ghost Rider on his own, without any synergies, doesn't even have a 100% chance to activate his judgments. Take that in. Like, imagine you're using Cosmic Ghost Rider, you know, and you're doing your cycle, and it's just, your judgments just don't activate. Not because your ability actually is being lowered, just because it's just chance based on your abilities. That's just the way your kit's written. Like, imagine how much that would suck. Like, Ghost Rider is just so outdated these days. He really, really needs some help. I really want to see, like, a full rework for Classic Ghost Rider. Really do. Honestly, I don't think we're going to get it, but I think he deserves it. He's one of my favorite champs back in the day. The first ever 4-star I grinded for an arena. Me and Ghost Rider literally came to the contest in the same month, October of 2016. I love this guy. I do. It's just, he's gotten kind of irrelevant. Like, he's not in the meta at all. Not even close to it. Not even touching the meta these days. So, can't justify the promotion. But speaking of breaking the meta, Juggernaut, dude. Oh, so happy with this buff. So happy with Juggernaut's buff. I think it came out phenomenally. It actually made him easier to fight on defense too, which, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys think about that? When they buff these older characters that are already a bit of a pain on defense, do you want them to become better offensively and easier to fight defensively? Or do you want to see them better offensively and better and harder to fight defensively? Which one would you prefer? Because honestly, like with Battlegrounds becoming more of a thing, like I said, it's coming out next month, I want defenders. I actually like ranking defenders now, which tell me that 3 years ago, I'd call you a liar. But yeah, Jugs on attack is amazing. I really love his buff. He's so much fun to use. Gonna have to definitely make a video just using Juggernaut. And I have a whole series coming using buff champs. At the end of the video, I'm going to give them a rating out of 10. 10 being like a Magneto level buff. Just assign like a numerical value to how good I think these champions buffs are. And eventually I want to make a video on every single character that's been buffed. That's the goal for that series one day. It's going to take a while. I haven't even got the first one out yet, but we'll get there. That's the Mystic class. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the Mutant class. I think we said everything we want to say about this. Oh yeah, one other thing actually. Hood and Longshot. I'd say there were the most comments for these two guys to get promoted. I didn't pull the trigger on it yet. I honestly, I don't think Hood and Longshot, I think they're really good. I think they're both super phenomenal champions. I have both of them in most of my Battleground decks. I really like both of them, honestly. But I think they're good in the Beyonder tier, honestly. I think these champions are just a little bit more powerful, and I think the tier list reflects that. So I think it's in a good spot right now. But definitely want to hear your guys' thoughts. And I also been trying to implement icons a bit more. I'm thinking this, like, I just came up with this because, you know, Clairvoyant, you want to be running Suicides with her, Recoil, and then I put a tree. So I could just put a tree to represent, like, the Suicide Mastery tree for Suicide-friendly champions, or like champions that kind of rely on suicides. Let me know if you guys like that. I definitely am inclined to add more stuff like this going forward, and I have on this iteration a lot more stuff in brackets. But I don't know. I find it might get a little confusing if I have like 5, 6, 7 icons. I don't know. Very interested to hear your guys' thoughts and feedback on that. But all right, let's go ahead and move on to the science class, or sorry, the mutant class. Actually, no, we're gonna do this a little bit out of order. We're gonna talk about the two new champs next, cause yeah, okay. So Quicksilver, one of the biggest shakeups ever on one of my tier lists. A brand new champion. debut is #1 in the entire class. I've never done that before, but I think this is an early prophecy from Legacy, okay? Now, real quick before I tell you the prophecy, Human Torch, when Human Torch came out, he was slept on for a long time. And I made tens of videos like in a row about Human Torch. People got so sick of it, they were like threatening to unsubscribe. I was just trying to tell people that Human Torch was God tier at the time. People didn't believe me. They didn't believe me that Human Torch was a God tier champion. Fast forward some time later, Abyss of Legends comes out. People see how good Torch is in that long form content. And everyone regards Human Torch as one of the best science champs in the game now. Okay? But I was early on that. Very early on that. Okay, so just keep that in mind. I'm good at seeing underrated champions, I think. I have a pretty good track record. And Quicksilver, I think, just as soon as I read his abilities and played with him and like learned how he worked, I absolutely fell in love. I've never gone so hard for Quicksilver, dude. I ended up buying like 8 Odins on stream for him, trying to get him, because I wanted him that bad. I've never wanted a champion. I've never spent just straight up 8 Odins to try to get a champ without a sponsor backing me or something. Never done that. I think Quicksilver is truly special. I think he has just so much utility. I think he has all the utility and more of Spidey 99, of Human Torch. It's crazy. Like, honestly, I think of Quicksilver as like a cloned baby of like Human Torch and Spidey 99. Like, he's got the withers from Spidey 99, and you know, Spidey 99 has a slow. You don't really see it much. He's not a very good slow character, I don't think, in my opinion. It's from his special 3. So you don't really see that often with Spidey, especially because his wither utility comes from the special 2. But he does have slow. Whereas Quicksilver has, you know, he has those withers just off dexing, which is incredible. Just super easy access to them. Doesn't have to use any kind of specials to get them off. Doesn't need a synergy to get them. Nothing. He doesn't need any synergies. Quicksilver is totally good on his own, which is something I absolutely love about him. But yeah, the withers, just from dexing. And then you get slow just from dashing back. So you get pretty much all the amazing utility from Spidey 99 in Quicksilver. Just phenomenal. I much prefer the way Quicksilver has access to that utility than Spidey 99 does, personally. I mean, the synergy with Anti-Venom is nice for Spidey, but I'd rather just not have to bring a synergy anyways. So, much prefer Quicksilver for Wither and Slow. And, you know, Human Torch, he has the ability to counter miss. Quicksilver has that already. Like, just all the really good utility from these champions, you know, Quicksilver has it. Plus, he has more damage than Human Torch and Spidey 99. And Eye-Bomb, and Scorpion, and all these other champs. Maybe not Spider-Ham. But, actually, speaking of Spider-Ham, he got promoted too, so we're going to talk about him in a sec. But, yeah, honestly, man, my prophecy is that Quicksilver, best champ in the science class, I think easily. And I think best champ released so far this year. So unless someone else this year comes out that's better than Quicksilver, I think he's going to be the best champ released in 2022. I absolutely love this guy. I can't wait to get him one day. It might be a while. But yeah, man, I do think Quicksilver is this good, guys. Genuinely, I would not have gone that hard for a character if I didn't think they were that good. I literally put my money where my mouth was. I'd never, ever bought that many calves like that, and I'm never going to do it again. But yeah, so I literally put my money where my mouth was on Quicksilver, and I think he's that good. So, yeah. We'll circle back to the science class in a bit, but let's go talk about the other champ that came out, and that's Galan. So, Galan and Quicksilver, two just absolutely incredible champions, and that's part of the reason why I also went so hard on those calves, is because the sub-feature being Galan, incredible. So Galan landing in the one above all tier. I'm not saying he's the best Cosmic, not going that far. That would be crazy. I still think Hercules is overall the best Cosmic, with Cosmic Ghost Rider just right behind him. Right behind him. And I put Hulkling in one above all tier. I think that has aged very well. I think Hulkling totally deserves this. and now we're adding Galan to this tier as well. I think Galan, same caliber of these champions, just so phenomenal. Such big burst damage, so easy to build said damage up. Incredible immunities to power control as a cosmic champion, plus immunity to nullify as a cosmic champion. Just crazy. Such easy access to buffs, just tons and tons of buffs. So buffed up is an absolute joke. And with buff cornucopia and incursions, it's pretty fun. And incursions are supposed to be getting buffed too, so that would make Galan even better if incursions become a more prevalent game mode. But yeah, I absolutely love Galan. Took him to rank 3 unduped. Honestly, Matt, real talk right now, Galan might be my next rank 4. With my current roster, doesn't change. I'm definitely looking at Galan as one of my next rank 4s. Real talk. So, yeah, I think he definitely deserves a spot. And, yeah, a lot more to talk about the Cosmic class. We'll circle back around. Let's go back to in order, though, and let's go to the Mutant class. Because we did the full Mystic class, then we kind of went out of order. It's okay, though. All right, Mutant time. So, Kitty Pryde, still number 1. It's not going to change. I don't think that'll ever change. I still think she's just so good. And it's really awesome to see a lot of you guys agreeing with that. A lot of people that pull her recently and then tell me, like, dude, I just ranked Kitty up and I just did all this content. I'm like, dude, let's go. That's what I like to hear. So we had, I think it's all promotions here, which is good. Demotions, I don't like demotions because then I feel like someone is gonna not like that, you know. But so we upgraded Rogue, but I put in brackets here skilled hands. So like you put Rogue in Swadia's hands, like good things happen. I do like Rogue. I think she could use a smaller buff. And I think that could be really good for her. So I think she does have some good base abilities. She's very fast at shrugging off every debuff, which is pretty cool. She could just use a bit more, I find. And then Deadpool X-Force. Also got a little bit of a promotion on him. I haven't played him myself a ton, but again, read a lot of comments. Quite a few talking about him, so I decided to upgrade him. And Old Man Logan as well. Couple comments on him talking about his damage, his regen, so I decided to give him an upgrade as well. Storm X making it into Beyonder tier. Someone left a great comment talking about Storm and just a list of all the different champions she counters. It's pretty impressive. I do like Storm X, and I think I would like to take her to rank 3. I think she'd be very, very good in Battlegrounds, actually. So I don't know if mine is Awaken or not, actually. Let me check. Let's keep talking while my game loads. But yeah, Storm X, really like her. Let me know what you guys think about this Beyonder placement. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know. And then we had 2 big upgrades from Beyonder tier to the one above all tier, and that was Strife. Again, we got some more brackets here. So Strife built up. I've seen some really, really great things. Again, from Swadia. I did a fight in Alliance War against a Rhino on an intercept node with Kitty. She demolished it. And then Swadia did the same fight with Strife, even faster. It was pretty impressive. Definitely don't think Strife is better than Kitty, but yeah, I can't deny the power of Strife. And yeah, I put up in brackets built up anyway. So yeah, Strife makes it into this tier. And then we also have Professor X up here as well. And again, we do have a bracket as well on him, and that's skilled hands. So I think Professor X is really good in the right hands. Like in MSD's hands, you know, Bureau Man, these guys really know how to play Professor X, and can make him do just so many fights in Abyss, in the Gauntlet. Some really impressive stuff in the right hands. Hold on, my game loaded here. Let's see. So I do have Storm, but she is unawakened, unfortunately, as you guys can see. Dang. Hopefully I can get her awakened then. As I hate ranking up champs that are unduped. I don't know. I don't like it. Okay, let's go ahead and move on now to the science class. My webcam, why is it like that? There we go. Okay. All right, science class. So yeah, we talked all about Quicksilver. I'm a big Quicksilver simp. That has been established. That's the prophecy. I do think Scorpion is also an incredible science champion. Like, I'd probably say Scorpion number 2 right now. Only to Quicksilver. If I... maybe. Actually, I don't know. I have to give that a lot more thought. Once I have to do the science top 5 science champs, I'll have to think about it a lot more. But yeah, these science champs are all incredible, man. And we had 2 more additions. So Mr. Negative, a lot of you guys love Mr. Negative, wanted me to upgrade him, so I did. Personally, not the biggest fan of Mr. Negative. I literally only played him when I was basically doing a resume for the job that Mike has right now, to be like the deep dive guy that gets the gameplay. And I had to do it on Mr. Negative, who I'd never played prior to this. So yeah, I feel like if it was a different champion, I could have done a much better job. I still feel like I did a good job. Like, I learned Mr. Negative, I played him well, I showed off his utility, and I do like him. He's just not a champ for me, personally. I don't have him as a 6-star even. That's probably a factor as well. But even if I got him now, like, I would much rather rank up Scorpion or Quicksilver. As you guys can see, I don't have Mr. Negative there. The science, you guys can see I'm missing a bunch of really good science champs, man. So yeah, I don't know. I'm definitely not denying his power. I've seen a lot of cool gameplay in Alliance War especially, and I've seen him do wondrous things. So I respect the character. I'm doing the upgrade and putting him in this tier. He's personally not a champ for me. You're probably not going to see me ranking him up if I get him, and you're not really going to see me playing him, which is fine. There's 230 champs in this game. I don't expect to fall in love with every single one of them, you know? And then we also had a Spider-Ham upgrade. So I was going to do a rank 4 video on Spider-Ham. I did Scorpion first, and I was like, wow, like, this guy is incredible. But Spider-Ham is still really good. Can't deny the power of the ham. Just the way he does damage is so powerful. Just punching specials, you know, as long as they throw it, and he does have a taunt to help them throw those specials. So the damage you can get with him is crazy. Plus you can get around some degeneration damage as well with your nonsense, which is great. Plus he's a great defender. So definitely looking to rank up my Spider-Ham. I do have him, but he is unawakened. If he was awakened, I would have already had him at rank 3 for Battlegrounds. But yeah, I really do like Spider-Ham. I think he definitely gets slept on a bit in the community. And then unfortunately, we had a couple demotions. So Void got demoted from one above all tier to beyond a tier. Now, again, this comes with the whole trying to keep my list meta relevant. And I just don't think Void is that meta relevant anymore. You know, back in the day when Void came out, dude, like, there was no one like him, and there was no one that could do what he did. I'm pretty sure Void introduced us to Petrify. I'm pretty sure. It's been a long time since Void came out, but I'm pretty sure he was the first champion to ever have the Petrify effect, the debuff. I think Petrify already existed in the Masteries, but I don't think it was in anyone's actual like abilities as like a debuff. That was really cool. But as time has gone by, more and more champions can use Petrify, can get it more reliably. You know, when you play Void, there is some RNG involved, which can be risky. Can be very risky. Just not getting the right debuff. And I just think Void's value has gone down. I still think he's a great champ. You know, he can still do a lot of stuff. I grinded for Void in Arena. One of the only 6 stars I've ever grinded for. Like, I really do love Void, man. It's just, he's not in the current meta. Not at all. With Battlegrounds, you know, being more time focused, he's a little too long. And yeah, so Void got the demotion. Sucks, but happened. Another demotion, Thing. So again, same thing with Void. When Thing came out, dude, no champion was like him. He was the very first champion to introduce immunity to Fate Seal and Nullify. The very first champion to ever introduce us to that. And he was unique and special because he was the only champion that could do that. But now, lots of champions can do that. Cosmic champions can do that. Tech champions can do that. It's not that special anymore. He also, I think he might have been the first armor break immune champ. Not 100% sure on that. But there's plenty of champs that are armor break immune now. It's not that uncommon. And, you know, Thing Much better defender than he is attacker. He still is a good attacker. Very tanky. Can be very safe. In the right situations, can be really good. But I just, when I see him compared to all the other champs here in so many offensive situations, I just would not be bringing Thing over them. So again, gotta try to keep this list meta relevant, even through my bias. Like, I really like Thing and I really like Void, but I'm trying to keep this list meta relevant and not as much of my own emotion goes into it, because like I probably would not have promoted these two, but a lot of comments prompted me to. So Spider-Gwen and Spider-Man Miles Morales both were upgraded from the God tier to the Beyonder tier. So Miles Morales, someone made an interesting comment talking about, unblockable becoming more common, and that's absolutely true. I 100%ed Act 8.1 during the beta to get all those 6-star shards like a lot of people did, and I remember really only two things. There were some nodes that had like increased certain special attacks. So for example, there's one that increased like your special attack 1 damage by a lot, and so Storm was just rinsing that lane. This was like right after Storm got buffed, and she was insane. I was literally killing like 400,000 health pool opponents in one special one. It was really fun. So that stuck out to me. And there's like same nodes, but like with your special 2s and I think special 3s. So there's those types of nodes in Act 8. But then the other thing that was just so much of was unblockable. I remember there just being so much unblockable in Act 8. So remembering that and unblockable being pushed more and more and more, Miles Morales' utility is actually only going to go up. His value is only going to go up. Whereas, champions like Void and Thing, their value's been going down. We get the opposite here with Miles. So I think Miles, and I have Miles at rank 3 too. So interested to see, especially also if we have like some Battlegrounds metas that revolve around unblockable specials. Miles is going to be a god in there. Okay, and then Spider-Gwen. So Spider-Gwen, honestly, I'm thinking about putting in like in the right hands or something in brackets here, because Spider-Gwen, she is a bit squishy, but she does have a lot of utility, and played correctly, she can do some really crazy things. She's got a good access to slow on her heavy attack. She's got a good enervate on her special 1. Honestly, man, Spider-Gwen will always have a special place in my heart. She's not my favorite champion by any means. However, I have a really, really special memory with her, and that was at the 2019 Summoner Showdown, the first ever Summoner Showdown. They flew me out to New York. I was in the Marvel's headquarters in their studio. It was so cool, man. But I had to face Atromix the Analyzer, a legend. And he used Spider-Gwen before me. He went right before me, and he set the best time on this Maestro boss. This was the week 9 of the tournament, and all the other weeks where they fought Maestro, he just destroyed every single person that had fought Maestro up to this point. And it was absurd. And then I have to follow this up, and I used Spider-Gwen, and I beat him by, I think it was 3 seconds. One of the craziest MCOC experiences of my life right there that day. My heart was beating out of my chest. Like, I was on camera. I was so nervous. I was playing on a foreign device. My hands were so sweaty. And me and Spider-Gwen pulled off this incredible feat. So, she'll always have a really, truly special place in my heart. That's one of my fondest memories in this game. So, always feel something special about Spider-Gwen. Maybe I got to rank her up now. I feel like I should now. So yeah, feel good about this promotion actually. More, I don't think I've talked about that memory in a long time. Like, I think about it, but it's a good memory, man. We need another. I want to be invited to another Summer Showdown. That was so much fun, or another in-person MCC event of some kind. Okay, but let's go ahead and move on to the tech class. So, no change at all in the one above all tier. I recently just made my top 5 tech champions, and it was literally these 5 tech champs. It's just, the order varies. But I think these 5 tech champions are literally just a grade above the rest, offensively. I think they do a little bit more than all these other champions. So some people wanted me to promote Penny Parker and Guardian to this tier, but I think these champions are just a little bit better than all of them. So it's hard to justify. I don't know. And this Beyonder tier is still, this Beyonder tier is still really high praise. And we had 2 promotions. So Mysterio with the Penny Parker synergy I have another video series coming soon. I keep talking about these video series. I gotta actually start making them. But it's gonna be like a synergy type series. I think I'm gonna title it something like Super Synergy Showcase or something to that effect. Some alliterations on the S. But Mysterio with his Penny Parker synergy is just absurd. Maybe that'll be the first video I do for that series. But essentially, you don't consume your gas with Mysterio when you have this synergy. So you can just keep applying poisons. And I haven't tested it myself, but from what I've heard, and in theory, it just sounds so insane. So I definitely got to make a video on that. And then Puncher 2099 in the Beyonder tier, which might be surprising to you. But if you have Caller Tech, that's the real thing here. With Caller Tech, man, the opponent just barely gains power. It is crazy. So Puncher 29 is worth the investment if you're going to invest in Caller Tech. Looks like we have a special guest joining us. Hi, bud. What are you doing? And so we also upgraded Yondu because Vega said I should, so shout out to Vega. And then Silverware. A couple people asking for this, so we moved them from Demigod to God tier. And yeah, not a lot of changes in the tech class. Let's go ahead and move to the skill class. Okay, this video is already going on so long. Wow. Okay, only 2 changes here. That's perfect. So Gwenpool from Demigod to God tier. It's pretty simple. And then Valkyrie. So originally I had her in the Beyonder tier. I think she's aged a bit, and I decided to put her in the one above all tier. I think she's worth it, but only with Max Sig. It's the big asterisk with her. You know, I think she does deserve this tier, but only at Max Sig. Okay? Alright, now the Cosmic class. Let's talk about it, this one, because a lot was happening here. What are you doing, buddy? What are you doing? Okay, so yeah, we talked about Galan and one above all tier, no question about it. And Galan's absolutely incredible. Really love him. Like I said, thinking next rank 4 right now. Like if I could rank for like another champion right now, I think I would probably do Galan. I think he's that good. Okay, couple promotions here. Super Skrull and Airwalker from the buffable tier. I still definitely think they need a buff, but they are better than some of these champs. Cat Marvel movie. So I promoted her last month, and I demoted her this month. It can happen. Yeah, I don't know. I just, with Galan and Hulkling, like these new Cosmic Champions kind of setting the precedent, I just don't think she's quite up to snuff when compared to these like newer Cosmic Champs. So yeah, demoted her. A lot of comments said I should do that too. I demoted her before I even really started reading the comments, actually. So yeah, but it was good to see a lot of people agreed. A lot of people, the whole thing was, you know, like they think Corvus is better than her, and that's fine, that's fair. And a couple people were asking for Corvus to be moved up, but guys, Corvus is not getting moved up. Hercules is a better, newer version of Corvus. Literally, Kabam John said this on the podcast. Literally, like, everyone was using Corvus for AQ, and now no one does. Or like 90% of people now just use Hercules, myself included. I use Hercules every single day in map 8 of AQ, and he crushes it. And I used to use Corvus every day in map 7 because it made sense, but now it doesn't. My main issue with Corvus is that you need specific champions to beat to get charges to get your damage. I hate that. Absolutely hate that. If he just has to like beat a champion, sure, that's fine then. I would honestly promote him. But it's tech champions or it's mutant champions. And I hate that. I hate that. I don't want those limitations when I'm playing someone, you know? I want to be able to build them up on any fight. I don't want it to matter. So that's just my big problem with Corvus. He reigned supreme in this game for a long time, guys. It's time for Corvus to pass the torch on. No pun intended. Speaking of pass the torch on, yeah. So, time. Alright. A couple other promotions that we made here. So, we got Hela. This is 2 asterisks with her, though. You need the synergy, plus you need skills. I think personally, I've tried Hela a little bit with the synergy, and I hate it. I hate the playstyle. Not a fan. Would never do it in any type of serious content like Alliance War or anything. Other people who are better than me with Hela want to do that? Sure. I respect it. I respect the damage. I'm putting her in Beyonder, but again, not a champ for me. Not a champ for me at all. I actually kind of hate Hela because when she was first introduced, I went for her. I got her 1-for-1 on featured 5-star crystals back in the day, which was insane. About a 1 in 5 of that happening. And I gave her my Cosmic Awakening Gem, which was like my only Awakening Gem at the time. But she was bugged at the time, and she was doing way more damage than she should have been. And then after the bug got fixed, I had this Awakened Hela that I didn't like anymore. And honestly, I've kind of hated her since, to be totally honest. And like I said, I tried the synergy. It's just not for me. Not every champ is meant for you. That's totally fine. Find the champs that you like and play them. Best advice I can give you. But I still respect the damage. So, again, it's not my list. It's our list. So there's that. Rank up. We also have Arcus being ranked up. Honestly, I really like Arcus. And I got with the Vision synergy. So this basically makes him able to counter like 90% of the tech class. It's pretty sick. It's pretty sick. We got Black Bolt. This has been a long requested, with synergies, Black Bolt should be upgraded. Sure. With a full synergy team, yeah, I think Black Bolt's Beyonder. I really want Black Bolt to get a buff of his own, though, because I think he is just such a badass character. Like, literally, he can't even whisper because they do so much damage. And I still remember when I started playing this game, man, Black Bolt, I used a special 3, and I saw him just screaming. I'm like, dude, this special 3 must, like, nuke everything. And then I found out it sucks. And that made me so mad, because Black Bolt screaming in his special 3 should be one of the hardest hitting specials in the game. Changed my mind. Okay, and then also we got Cull Obsidian ramped, because Cull Obsidian ramped is pretty awesome. He's really awesome. The damage output is insane. Maybe ramped plus like synergies. I should actually put plus synergies. And what synergies would that be? Guardian to increase that block proficiency, yeah. So yeah, guys, that's gonna do for this list. Wow, this video went on so long, 37 minutes, but a lot of changes, a lot of stuff to talk about. 2 super hype champs, so it's gonna take some time to talk about them. And yeah, Quicksilver and Galan both make it into one above all tier. That's how you know this month had good champs. Plus, one, I'm claiming to be the best champ in that class. So, like I said, my track record with Torch, pretty good. So, I don't know. That's the prophecy. I think Quicksilver is going to be regarded as the best science champ next year. Eventually, probably take some time for some people to come on board with that, but I think they will eventually. And yeah, guys, that's going to do it for this tier list. A lot of work does go into making these. A lot of mental work. A lot of comment reading on the previous videos. Going through, trying to make the list. Happy for me, but also happy for the community and you guys, and trying to make everyone happy, which is not something I advise to do. It's impossible to do, but I try. But that's gonna do it for this video. Again, 1,000 likes, we'll make a Battlegrounds version of a tier list with defensive sections. It's gonna do it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate all the love and support on my videos, especially these tier lists. I'm gonna keep doing them every single month for this foreseeable future. That's gonna do it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Peace out.